This video is about a really unique property of one-way doors in Super Mario Maker 2. So the reason why I point this out at the beginning of the video is, well, this super secret property of one-way doors is actually so super secret that we won't see any one-way doors for a while. But don't worry, they're there and they're doing their job. So let's first take a look at a level that uses this mysterious secret one-way door trait, and let's afterwards discuss how all of this worked. So you ready? Let's do this! So our plumber finds himself at the beginning of a stage called the Keys Are Key. In front of him there is this mysterious tower. Mario would love to explore this tower. Sadly, the entrance is currently locked and there is no mechanism inside that seems to open up the entrance. All that there is a key above the doorway. Strange, but keys aren't able to open up pipes that are locked by bullet blasters. Well, it looks like Mario doesn't care and goes for the key anyway. After a bit of athletic vine climbing, he reaches the key and hooray! The entrance opened up the second Mario grabbed the key. Aren't one-way doors one door full? Next Mario, whose nickname apparently is Big Red? Alright I guess. So now Big Red finds himself in a huge open area. The path to his right is blocked by the stable bomb and the path to his left is, well, blocked as well. Once again, there is a key happily hovering in the air above a pipe. This key is the key to progress here. As soon as Mario grabs the shiny door opening device, the pipe at the bottom activates and spawns a spring. How convenient. Now our hero in red is able to ride this destructive snake block towards the right while opening up the previously blocked paths. To the right is another key. This one activates a mysterious contraption at the top. Let's pick up the key and let's find out what happens. Hooray! This key blew up the path to the lower area of the level. But what is this? In this area, there is no key hidden. All that is here are two enemies in a pit. As soon as Big Red jumps into this pit, he isn't able to leave it again. Now it's a fight between life and lose alive. But Mario is an expert in fighting gigantic moles and walking mushrooms, and so he manages to survive this without any problems. As soon as the last enemy is defeated, the path forward opens up. Okay, so let's skip a part of the stage now and let's fast forward to the final boss. Here, the exit path towards the famous flagpole once again only opens up once all enemies in the pit got defeated. But this time, surviving is a lot more dangerous. Not only is there an evil Magic Koopa shooting evil magic bullets, but dangerous piranha plants constantly spit fire as well. Once again, we use the wonders of one-way doors to build a door that opens up the moment the last enemy is defeated. Hooray! Okay, so how do we wire pipes to keys? How do we test if Mario defeated all enemies? And what has all of this to do with one-way doors? Well, the answer to this question is actually surprisingly adorable. It's entity limit P manipulation. So the thing is the following. In Mario Maker 2, only exactly 100 enemies of a certain type are allowed to be loaded at once. As soon as this 100 entity limit is reached, the game refuses to spawn new enemies. We can see this here. Here, we have a couple of munchers inside question blocks. If we jump towards the blocks, the munchers spawn. As expected. However, if we first load in 100 ELB entities, then the blocks suddenly don't spawn anything anymore. The same is true for pipes that spawn enemies or blasters that pew stuff into a level. That's basically the trick we used in the stage before. The limit is permanently at exactly 100. Keys count towards this limit. So this pipe, for example, isn't allowed to spawn anything since the limit is currently full. As soon as we pick up the key, however, a spot gets freed and the pipe is able to spawn the spring that in consequence drops the blaster down. Super simple stuff so far. Here is where this gets interesting. Up until now, building complex levels around this concept was extremely tedious. We always had to first globally fill the entity limit with lots of entities, which only worked with gigantic donut block farms, and then we had to super carefully count all the different ELB spots at each point in the level if we really wanted to manipulate it. As soon as we went through a loading screen, the ELB always got cleared and we were always working really close at the normal enemy limit. In short, building stages around such shenanigans was a nightmare. The important word here is was, because as it turns out, there is an unbelievably simple trick in Mario Maker 2 that makes building ELB manipulation stages much easier. And this is where the one-way doors finally come into play. Ladies and gentlemen, as it turns out, one-way doors aren't simply globally loaded once they got loaded. As it turns out, one-way doors are super global items. So what is a super global item? Check this out. Here we once again have a muncher in a question block. There are no items that get loaded as soon as we start the game. So if Big Red hits his head against the block, a muncher should appear, right? Well, no. Because on the completely opposite side of the stage, we have 100 one-way doors. One-way doors are super global items. Super global items are always loaded. They don't care if we ever got close to them. They always count towards the LB. So as soon as we have 100 one-way doors somewhere in a stage, no pipe can spawn anything anymore, no blaster is allowed to pew, and no question block will release its content. We can go into the subworld, we can go through doors, we can be at any place in the level, it doesn't matter. Those 100 one-way doors always fill the ELB. And this, ladies and gentlemen, makes creating crazy ELB shenanigans much easier. Let's just say we want to have a gauntlet of 3 rooms in a row where a door opens up as soon as all enemies got defeated. Then all that we have to do is to put down, let's say, 95 one-way doors at some point in the stage. Next, we build our 3 rooms and a small mechanism in each of them that only opens up once the ELB is below 100. Then we put down munchers until the ELB hits a value of 99. We can easily visualize that by just putting down a couple of muncher blocks somewhere. We want to hide 1 muncher less than we're able to spawn. So if 3 spawn, we want to hide 2. If 5 spawn, we want to hide 4. If 1 spawns, we want to hide none. And we're finished. Now we can put down as many enemies as we want. The door will always open up as soon as we defeated all of them. And this works in all 3 rooms, thanks to our wonderful, super global one-way doors. That's the whole trick. And this is also how the stage previously worked. The keys take up an ELB spot and hidden super global one-way doors fill up the ELB. Hooray! So the possibilities with this little one-way door hack are basically infinite. So let's just super quickly take a look at 3 small use cases. Here we have a little room where the output of this question block changes depending on whether this POW block exploded before. If we just hit the question block, then nothing happens. If we destroy the POW block before, however, then a muncher suddenly spawns. This simply works because the POW kills about 20 munchers to its right. Here we have something similar. This is a shell train request station. Those blasters here create a shell train as soon as one gets requested. But how does one request a shell train? Well, by triggering a P-switch. As soon as this P-switch is activated, the blasters activate as well. This little contraption works because the P-switch once again frees the ELB by turning all full coins into alright brick blocks. Finally, here this on-off block activates the pipes. We can enjoy the beautiful view here for as long as we wish for, but as soon as we hit Mario's head against the on-off block, winged munchers shoot out of the pipes and elevate us to the next level. Here, the ELB gets freed by changing blue dotted line blocks into red ones. The rest of the ELB is super globally filled by those one-way doors. That's the whole trick. Alright, so that are super globally loaded one-way doors. So with that being said, thanks for watching this little video, I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and maybe feel especially one-sided today and want to hit the subscribe button as well. I hope that all of you have a wonderful day and to see you soon. Goodbye!